Well, as we heard, President Trump was speaking in Davos hours before his impeachment trial began in the US Senate. It's only the third time in American history that a president has faced an impeachment trial, and the process involves several stages. It could, in theory, lead to President Trump being removed from office. The process started in the lower house, that is the House of Representatives, where 2 charges were brought against him. The actual trial takes place in the Senate, that is the upper house, and that's the one that has already started today. The chamber of 100 senators acts as a jury. 53 senators are Republicans, 47 are Democrats. But a 2/3 vote is necessary for a president's removal, and that has never happened before. Our North America editor John Sopel has the latest.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
1868, 1999, and now 2020. For only the third time in American history, the Sergeant-at-Arms tells senators on pain of imprisonment that they must maintain silence and decorum in the trial of a sitting president, the 45th, Donald J. Trump.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
Presiding over it, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts. But for all the veneer of this being a judicial process, this is really raw politics. The first person to be called was Pat Cipollone, the senior White House counsel, acting as the defense.
We believe that once you hear those initial presentations, the only conclusion will be that the president has done absolutely nothing wrong, and that these articles of impeachment do not begin to approach the standard required.
The central argument is whether witnesses should be allowed. The Republicans want the trial to be done and dusted in a little over a week, with no one called to give evidence. The chief prosecutor is Adam Schiff, the Democratic chair of the House Intelligence Committee. He says that would be a travesty.
If the defendant is not allowed to introduce evidence of his innocence, it's not a fair trial. So too for the prosecution. If the House cannot call witnesses or introduce documents and evidence, it's not a fair trial. It's not really a trial at all.
Donald Trump may be in his mountain eyrie with the global elite, but he's keeping an eagle eye on what's happening in Washington.
That whole thing is a hoax. It goes nowhere because nothing happened. The only thing we've done is a great job. We have the strongest country in the world by far, and it was going in the wrong direction. We have the greatest economy we've ever had in the history of our country.
The trial will go on for at least a week, with each side given 3 days to present their case. Then there'll be questioning. All of this will be conducted with the strictest rules of behaviour. But on the cable news networks, it's playing out 24/7. And here it's mixed martial arts, with seemingly no rules. This fight for public opinion is just as important as Donald Trump eyes re-election later on this year.
And the extent to which this is a political process was underlined just a few moments ago. There was a vote on whether to subpoena documents from the White House. The vote by the jurors fell along strict party lines, 53 Republicans saying no, 47 Democrats saying yes. It will be interesting to see what happens when they come to vote, probably next week, on whether witnesses should be called. But even if witnesses are called, it's hard to believe it's going to fundamentally alter the dynamics, that Donald Trump will not become the first president to be forcibly removed from office. As to the question of whether he becomes the first impeached president to win re-election later this year in 2020, well, that is still open. Huw.
John, many thanks again. John Sopel with the latest for us there on that impeachment process at the US Capitol.